which by the way, where I was raised until the age of 14. Um, a lot of the girls followed suit with that. They would talk about, here's my story in my country or in my city. There's poverty, there's climate change, etc. And here's what I'm doing to change it. That's a good storyline, but you will notice that the way the girls who advanced delivered their speeches, not all of them had to talk about their advocacies. In fact, guys, one of the best examples that I saw in that competition was from Miss France. And Miss France didn't talk anything about her advocacy. What she talked about was something so petty, and yet it was so charming. And she said, hey guys, I have a twin sister, and wouldn't it be cool that if I win the Miss Universe, I would have a doppelganger who would probably pretend that she was me, etc., and all these things. So that made her charming. That made her likable in front of the audience. And that was the reason why I think she got through that round and, eventually proceeded to the next round. It's just sad because you don't need to be serious in order for you to deliver a speech that allows you to show your personality. You don't need to be academic. You don't need to be a martyr in order for you to showcase that. What you want is to exude that, hey, I'm confident, I'm able to control and command a crowd, and I'm able to showcase to them that I'm a strong woman. That's what it is. So, yeah, that's it. I'm just sharing my thoughts here, and the reason why I do this, because this is something that I'm really passionate about. When I get old, one thing that I would love to do is to keep on continue teaching about public speaking. And it's just a shame because Gazini, I think, is one of the most beautiful contestants we've sent to the competition, but she wasn't able to show her evening gown simply because of that opening statement round. And I would challenge the next Shamsi, since you're going to be the new national director of Miss Universe Philippines. It would really be such a great change if we filter our candidates or train them in being able to speak well. Because we've already raising the banner. We are great speakers of the lingua franca of business, and that's English. So panindigan natin and make sure that, if we're really the best of the best, then we can get through that round. So, there. Yeah, Marga says, I couldn't agree more. Compared it with Catriona's opening statement, and it's way different. This is the problem with all the candidates that will be sent by the Philippines. Everyone's going to be compared now versus Catriona, and that's a good and a bad thing because Catriona really sets the bar so high. That woman speaks well. She's a singer, so she already has that level of confidence in front of the stage. In this case, she's just speaking. So training really matters. If I were to add some last bits, you go disguise it between Pia and Catriona. Catriona obviously is, eons and eons away in terms of her speaking abilities. But the reason why Pia meets the minimum level, meets the minimum requirement of being able to speak is because she really nailed it down when it comes to practicing. She had her magical notebook. She practiced and exercised every Q&A that might come out. And the more that she built in it, and if you look at her anecdote, she was doing this 4 months, 5 months before the competition. The more she repeated it, the more it gained confidence for her. The more she made mistakes, the more she felt, and she told herself, if I keep on making mistakes, that's fine because the more I become better. And come the competition time, she tells herself, I couldn't afford to lose because I've done this too many times. And that for me is the core, among more than anything else, is the core secret to public speaking. The more you've spoken the topic and the more that you have made mistakes talking about the topic, the more you can tell yourself that I can get this better again and again until the final time that you've spoken it, you are the excellent speaker that people were rooting for. Yes, CJ, we're doing something about that actually. And this is the reason why I'm sharing this talk. My brother is batchmate of Shamsi, and I was telling my brother, please sell me to her because that's one of the things that I really want to do. I'm so passionate about raising the flag for the Philippines. For someone who joined an international TV show about it, every time Philippines falters, I just feel sad because, for someone who travels so much, I just want to show to the rest of the world that we can make it big, that the Filipino isn't just a country of blue collar workers. We're damn good in sending white collar jobs as well. And if only they understood how a lot of people like us think and speak, then they would be more impressed. And therefore, we can contribute more for what the world needs. So yeah, so do you think that if Gazini picked her mother tongue, she would deliver? Nico, I'm not sure about this, but obviously the way she speaks, it looks like she's even more comfortable speaking Cebuano more than Tagalog. So if that is the case, then I would recommend her to do it. Here's the problem though. In the Philippines, there's a stigma if you go out in a beauty pageant with an interpreter because all of your preceding candidates didn't do so, right? So this is a battle of ego and efficacy and how people will perceive you and how it will affect your confidence level. So if we take pride that we are an English-speaking country, technically speaking, the fourth or third largest in the world after the US, Canada, and India, then if that is the case, then whoever wants to join the competition has to hustle harder to speak well in English. So, yep. What can you say about Miss South Africa speech? Oh my gosh, thank you for raising that, Marjorie. This for me is one of the most heart melting speech I've ever heard in any beauty pageant. I haven't seen other beauty pageants apart from Miss Universe, but I've never seen someone who spoke, and I'm sure this is something that she couldn't have rehearsed because it was an impromptu question as well. And if I were to use her verbatim, Miss South Africa's answer was, a lot of young females today lack leadership. And leadership is something that I want to inculcate to them because it matters to take up space. And I love that part because she is so much aligned to what I was saying. And my favorite quote is, life is about thriving, not just surviving. If all you do is to just sleep, eat, and find a way to get some money, then you're not giving justice to what life is all about. And rather, life is about being happy about it, sharing what you have with other people. If you are an artist, you don't keep the art to yourself, you share it with other people as well. So there. What can you say about Kat's farewell speech? You know, this is not surprising to me. I knew that she was going to be very emotional about it. So, yeah, props to her. And I don't think that the history of Miss Universe will ever have a Catriona Gray ever again. You've never seen a candidate who had imitations of her gown in other competitions, and the women aren't even ashamed about it. So, you know, the standards are really set high, and we're proud because that standard comes from the Philippines, which is very good. How should Gazini recover from her accomplishment today? Very good question. I think Gazini is a very nice person. I don't know her personally, but when you see the way I saw her when she started approaching South Africa and all the other candidates when she won, it seems like she's happy. I'm not sure if that's, you know, showing it in front of the camera. But like I always said, failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a necessary condition. It is a symptom that you're on your way to get there. So the key is to make more mistakes as early as you can and as fast as you can. And in the case of Gazini, who's still a very young, beautiful woman, who knows? She's a tourism graduate. She can take this on further, become a great... I see her as a great news anchor. I see her as a great variety talk show host. I see her as someone who can patronize the arts, for example. And this is a good, you know, when you stumble early at this age, it's a good reference that in the future, you'll just laugh about it and say, I had that moment and I learned from it because it made me stronger and I will not want that to happen ever again. So, yep, that's right, CJ. She's young. She could still go a long way. Yes, right. That's how I define failure. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a necessary condition. There are people who get it right once. You know what you call them, guys? They're called lucky people. And there are people who get it right 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. They're called ordinary, normal people like us. And so the only way for us to succeed, therefore, is to hustle so that every time we fail, we pick up something from it and start all over again. That's what life is. You have two options. You tell yourself that there's a cosmic power wanting you to fail, or you tell yourself, I'm sorry, I failed, but I'll do it. I'll get it done. I will get through this because I need to get this done. So there. Shara, I can't give much tips for an aspiring beauty queen because I am not that league. But when it comes to public speaking and building confidence, as I've mentioned a while ago, practice is the key. Practice, 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 practice. I'm a big fan of stealing best practices and then creating your own style out of stealing. So you've probably seen this with a lot of candidates, not just in beauty pageant, but in any reality TV show. When I was joining Apprentice Asia, I watched all 154 episodes of the other franchises. And I tried to steal the best practice from candidate X from the United States, from UK, from Australia, tried to create my own style and told to myself, if that's likely going to happen in that show, how do I prepare myself if ever that question gets asked? And I make sure that I don't become a copycat of another contestant. I still make sure that I retain my own style. Because at the end of the day, any judge is going to look for your uniqueness, your personality, and your vulnerability, by the way, because no one's perfect, and people hate it when you exude a perfect aura. You need to have a level of vulnerability that people will think that you are a human being. And, you know, everyone loves drama, so that's a good touch that you want them to keep on hanging on. So there. Yep. I need to grab some lunch. So sorry, dinner now, guys. But this was great. This inspires me again to do more of these live videos because I haven't done so many of them because of work. And this is the reason why I keep on posting photos and other videos itself. But let me try to do more of these because you guys seem to be interested about it. So, yep. Have a great night. And we will get better because of this. Everything that makes us fail allows us to become better next time. And this is why criticisms are not bad things. They are not a sign that you're being negative. They are a sign that you care. You care because you want to become better in the future. So there. Bye, guys. Thank you.